You're sitting in a car, glancing at the speedometer. You know exactly how fast you're going, and you know how far away your destination is. But to figure out exactly when you'll arrive, you must connect those two pieces of information. This relationship forms the fundamental triangle. Distance is at the peak, supported by speed and time. To find any missing variable, cover it. Cover speed for distance over time, cover time for distance over speed, cover distance for speed times time. This single structure governs textbook physics and everyday travel. With any two pieces of the puzzle, you can reliably calculate the third. But having the formula isn't enough if you feed it conflicting data. The most common error in calculating motion is mixing up units. You cannot directly divide a distance measured in kilometers by a time measured in seconds. Looking at this textbook excerpt, we see the baseline for standardizing your math, the golden rules of measurement. 1 kilometer is exactly 1,000 meters, and 1 hour contains exactly 3,600 seconds. Because these constants never change, we use a rapid fraction shortcut for conversions. If a train travels at 72 kilometers per hour, find its speed in meters per second by multiplying by 5/18. This gives a final speed of 20 meters per second. Standardizing your units before applying any formula is a mandatory step. It guarantees your mathematical output perfectly matches physical reality. Once your units match, you encounter the next hurdle. Vehicles rarely travel at a constant speed. And when measuring a journey with varying speeds, you should never simply add two speeds together and divide by 2. That mathematical shortcut only works if you travel at both speeds for the exact same amount of time. Consider this scenario. You drive 100 kilometers to a city in 2 hours. On the way back, heavy traffic slows you down, so that exact same 100-kilometer return trip takes you 3 hours. How do you calculate your average speed for the entire trip without falling into the trap of averaging your outward and return speeds directly? This section of the study material provides the reliable method. Average speed equals total distance traveled divided by total time taken. Applying our scenario, the total distance is 100 kilometers out plus 100 back, equaling 200 kilometers. Total time is 2 hours plus 3 hours, giving us 5 hours. Dividing 200 by 5 results in an average speed of exactly 40 kilometers per hour. By calculating it this way, you measure the true efficiency of the journey. Because you spent more time driving through the slow traffic, that lower speed drags down the overall average far more than the fast drive pulls it up. So far, we've measured speed from a stationary viewpoint, but the math changes when you are observing motion from an object that is also moving. This introduces the concept of relative speed. When two bodies move in opposite directions, either towards or away from each other, they close the physical distance between them very rapidly. To find their relative speed, you add their individual speeds together. In case 1, if train A moves east at 60 kilometers per hour and train B moves west at 40, their speeds combine. To a passenger on train A, train B flies past at 100 kilometers per hour. The math flips when two bodies move in the same direction, like one chasing the other. Because they close the distance slowly, their relative speed is the difference between their individual speeds. Instead of tracking two separate moving targets, relative speed allows you to lock one object in place and calculate a single predictable rate of closure. In case 2, a police officer chases a thief. The officer runs at 12 meters per second, the thief at 10 meters per second. Subtracting the two shows the officer catching up at a relative speed of exactly 2 meters per second. Let's return to our driving scenario. Reviewing this average speed calculation shows how the foundational distance over time formula scales up. By separating total distance and total time, the textbook method steers you away from intuitive traps, reliably landing you at the correct 40 kilometers per hour. To organize these tools, rely on a 4-part cheat sheet. You have your fundamental triangle for missing variables, rapid fractions for standardizing units, the total over total formula for average speed, and addition or subtraction rules for relative speed. By standardizing your units, adjusting for direction, and trusting the math over your initial instincts, you can accurately calculate any problem involving motion.